Hearts in Atlantis. Now in this review, I'll be mainly focusing on the first story of the book. And yeah, if you didn't know, Hearts in Atlantis has like 3 stories in it. And I didn't know that when I first read it. After the first story ended and the next one picked up, I was like, hold on, what the hell is going on here? Because you're all of a sudden with a group of guys in college, and the first story kind of ends with a cliffhanger because you don't know what happens to a certain somebody. And yeah, that really made my experience reading the book the first time kind of shitty. And it's not marketed as like another anthology book because Stephen King has wrote several anthology books, and this one, you know, I went into it thinking it was another novel, and yeah, I really got attached to Bobby and Ted that was in the first story, and I love the story so much, and yeah, it just changes to a different story, and it leaves you wondering what the hell just happened, and why you're reading about these other characters in college. Because I thought that, you know how some novels are broken into parts, like you have part 1, part 2, part 3, and so on. I thought that the next story was just another part of the novel, and I was wondering where the hell is Ted and Bobby? You know, why am I reading about these other strange characters? So, and yeah, it hurt my experience reading the book for the first time. But, so be warned if you're planning on reading the book after this review. Yeah, it's weird. And it doesn't, well, my edition doesn't have a table of contents. It doesn't tell the stories that are in the book. So that's why I thought it was just, you know, another novel. And that's why it threw me off. But yeah, this, like I said, this review will focus more on the first story, because that one was damn good. So the first story is called The Low Men in Yellow Coats, and it's about a boy and his mother. They're kind of poor. It's been a while since I read the book, so I may get some facts wrong, and I apologize. But yeah, you're probably wondering, well, why the hell are you reviewing a book you haven't read in a while? You know, I'm wondering the same thing. I had some free time. I just, you know, I was going to make a video. This has been on my mind for a while, and I didn't want to have to read it again. And I already remember a lot of the first story, so cut me some slack. But yeah, it's about a mother and boy, and they're kind of poor. The mom is, you know, making ends meet, and there's this guy named Ted. He moves in next door in their apartment, and Ted and Bobby like strike up a friendship, and Ted wants Bobby to read to him like the newspaper, and he'll pay him for that. Well, eventually Ted tells Bobby that he's running away and hiding from these certain people called the Low Men, and they drive these colorful looking cars. They wear yellow coats, and yeah, it was very intriguing, and I fell in love with the characters, and it ended a certain way, and it leaves you wondering, and then it just goes into this other story. And I think the second story is loosely tied into the first one, if I remember correctly. And I don't think the third story does at all. I don't remember. I apologize. But yeah, I would give the first story a 5 out of 5. And it's been a while since like I said, since I read the book, and I don't really remember a whole lot of the 2 other stories, but I didn't really like them as much. I was kind of bored through the second one, and all I remember of the third one is there's a guy, I think, that's pretending that he's blind to get like to get people to give him money, and like he's standing on the side of the road or something and asking for money because he's blind, and or he's making people think he's blind. But yeah, the first one was really good, and if you're interested in reading the book, I would say just read the first story. You don't have to continue with the other two. You can if you want to. You can check them out, but yeah, really recommend the first story of the book. And it ties into the Dark Tower. I don't know if I've said that already, but if you're a big Dark Tower fan like me, you'll probably eat up the story because it does connect to the Dark Tower, and I didn't know that going in, so hopefully that didn't like ruin the story for you. But when I found out that it was connected to the Dark Tower, which a lot of Stephen King books are, I was really surprised because this book was one of the first Stephen King books I read after the Dark Tower, and yeah, when I seen that it was connected, like it made me really happy and excited. And now I'm just used to it because like every Stephen King book is like somehow connected to the Dark Tower. But yeah, that's my review of the book. I don't know if I'm going to rate it because it has been a long time since I've read the book. Like I've already said, I think 3 times now. But yeah, I would rate the first one because I remember it. I remember a lot of it still to this day. But I don't want to rate the book as a whole because I don't really remember the last 2 stories in it. So, but yeah, I'll give the first story 5 out of 5. And yeah, that's my review. Like and subscribe, and I will see you guys probably on the 30th or the 31st with another Western movie review. So look out for that. I will see you guys later.